This week on the Steam Machine podcast, hey, we need more time to become rocket scientists. Cue the music! Hey everybody, and welcome back to another wonderful, stupendous, I got that word from WrestleMania, exciting episode of the Steam Machine podcast. My name is Dalton, and joining me as always are the Destructo Bros themselves.
Ooh, yeah, it's Nate.
Brother, you know it's Willie.
And if you can smell what we're cooking, I don't have anywhere to go with that. Stone Cold said
so. What we're cooking is that we didn't quite finish boiling Kerbal Space Program. As it turns out, two of us got out of the atmosphere, I think, but we were struggling hard. It's a difficult game. We on the struggle bus pretty tough, and decided to do an interlude episode.
Aye.
Indeed-erino.
None of us even landed on the moon. And that's including me, I've played this game for like 100 hours, and I still couldn't get to the fucking moon. So it didn't go good for us.
I am currently curious how you even get to the moon. So that'll be fun to figure out for the next. I got to figure out how to get up, and I got to figure out how to get out.
Yeah.
Well, the trick is first you go up, then you get circularized around the planet, and then you find an orbit to the moon.
My goal this next couple weeks, I'm just going to harass Willie nonstop. Like, hey, watch me play Kerbal Space Program so I can learn how to do this stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll have a space camp.
Yeah.
Maybe the Discord can come watch if you guys want.
Oh, that's fun. We could do it on the Discord. That would be kind of cool.
What have you guys been up to this past 2 weeks?
Man, it's been a pretty fun couple weeks. Like, recently picked up an Oculus
Quest 2?
Oculus Quest 2, thank you. I was trying to remember the name of it because I know there's Oculus Rift and Oculus Quest, and I was like, it's a Quest 2, yeah. And so I've been hanging around in 3D and doing all that kind of stuff. I've mostly been getting into Beat Saber. That game is ridiculously fun, y'all. Like, I don't know if you've ever gotten a chance to play it, but like, dude, it'll be a workout too. It's like, like I've been hitting like my calorie goals and stuff on my Apple Watch just by playing Beat Saber over the last few weeks. It's been hilarious. And like, I went ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I thought about you the other day because somebody I'm friends with on Facebook posted where they were playing an Avenged Sevenfold song in Beat Saber.
Nice.
And I was like, I thought about tagging you on it, but then I was like, oh, but he's not her friend, so it might not come through. Like, because Facebook's weird like that. But I was like, oh man, yeah. So I think that was a modded song, possibly. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, Avenged Sevenfold is definitely not one of the DLC packs. That's definitely a modded one. So like right now, I've picked a couple of the DLCs up. Like I went ahead and got the Fallout Boy DLC, which is fantastic, and then the Lady Gaga DLC because her stuff is just like made for Beat Saber. If you think about it, like how those tunes just jam, you know.
Gaga's awesome.
But like there is the modding scene to Beat Saber, but unfortunately, like they haven't updated it in quite a while, so it's a few versions of the game behind. So like I would have to downgrade my version of Beat Saber in order to mod it, and that way I would lose my DLC because it hasn't been updated since before those two DLCs that I got came out. So I'm kind of like, I'm gonna wait for them to update the mod just so I can get into it a little bit more. But like, I want to mod it so bad because this game is so fun.
I know exactly how that goes because that was like when Skyrim Anniversary Edition came out, and all my mod packs were like, "Oh, you have to downgrade." And I'm like, "No, I'll just wait till one of these is compatible. That's cool."
Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing with it now too. And oh my god, y'all, Willie got to experience this with me, but Dalton, we're gonna have to do it soon. I played Phasmophobia in VR.
Yeah,
dude,
how was it?
It's so fun, but it's such a different experience because you're like walking around and you're like in the house now. You're not just sitting at your computer with a controller. Like you can look around and see what's going on in the house. You're like, it's a lot scarier. And then when the ghost starts coming, you're like, I froze. Like I didn't even move. I just stood still because like I'm going to die.
How was the coming around your head? Like,
so it only did like one arm instead of the two usual ones. It did like one arm around you and did that, and then you died. So it was pretty freaky. Like Not as freaky as like I was watching you guys play Devour earlier today on stream. Like that's a freaky death in that game.
Yeah, that's because that shit's a jump scare.
Yeah,
like and so you'll be running around and all of a sudden, and there's the Ringu looking fucking spider lady from that level. Yeah, that game's interesting.
I'd like to try it with y'all sometime for sure. Because it seems different enough that it wouldn't feel like it's rehashing Phasmophobia, but it also feels like it would be fun. But I think I'm still going to like Phasmophobia more.
Yeah, I mean, I still enjoy Phasmophobia more, but I like Devour much more than I like Dead by Daylight.
I can tell.
I'm always more happy whenever we're playing one of those games. There's another one that she's got us that she bought, like that little crew that plays in there. She wants to check out. It's called Pacify.
Okay, haven't heard of that one,
but neither have I. But apparently, it's another one of those style of games.
Did y'all ever try that? I forgot what you called it. The haunted.
Oh, the one that was like the elevator.
Oh, the Happy Harry's haunted.
Yeah. Repair
service. Yeah. We did play that a couple times.
How was it?
That game is interesting. It's like you're running around and you're trying to find things to fix, but you're also trying to find like fuses to like put into things. It's almost like it's Phasmophobia-esque because there are ghosts wandering around, but it's more like you can see them at all times. So it's almost like a Phasmophobia meets Devour in a way.
It's an Among Us.
Very much a PS1, PS2, early PC style graphics. So like it's not beautiful, but it's procedurally generated. So each level you go into is new. So that's refreshing.
That's cool.
You know, it's fun. I would play it with you guys. I think it would be a good time for like Game Buds or a Steam Machine community thing whenever we finally. The thing with the Steam Machine doing the community thing is all of us are in different time zones almost. So it's very
freaking Adam over there in Australia really screwing things up.
I feel like he's the one that wants to play with us the most. But he's like 9 hours a wrong way.
I know, and I want to play with him too.
It sucks.
And then
I know, right? Same.
Arcader over there in Singapore, I think. Like,
oh, that's right. Yeah.
They're all over the place, man. Which blows my mind. Thank you guys for listening. Like, it's fucking wild to me when I look through all the countries that have listened to the show. I'm like, wow. And I do account VPNs for some of that, but still, I'm just like, that's wild.
Yeah, VPN through Vatican City. So if you see one from Vatican City, that's me.
Well, there you go. Nate's on the internet.
The Pope loves our podcast.
The Pope's just like, I agree. Fuck the Blair Witch.
I like that you think the Pope is Mario.
I know, especially is the Pope Argentinian?
Of course. No, the Pope is Mario.
Good point.
He's from Mario Argentina.
God, I hate that.
Oh, man.
But yeah, man, if I ever get around to VR, I feel like Beat Saber is absolutely one of the most plays I want to try. I also really want to try Super Hot VR because that looks just really fucking cool. And I honestly didn't expect to ever get around to playing Doom 3 in any form, but if I did, I was going to probably want to play it in VR for the first time. So I still think it might actually. I want to play Doom 3, the non-BFG edition, in VR at some point because I think that maybe it'll give me some good scares.
Wasn't there a Doom game that was made for VR, like VFR or whatever?
Doom VFR, yeah.
I have it on PS4 with my VR rig, Doom VFR.
I think it's like a VR version of Doom 4, right?
Yeah, it's Doom 2016, but VR, and I think it's a little different than the actual campaign. But I want to say, that game is hard for me because the music in Doom is so fucking good. Yeah. And where your crosshair is where you're looking, right? Because I don't have the motion controls, so I don't have the aim. So it's wherever I'm looking is where I shoot. So I'm sitting there and my fucking crosshairs are just bouncing up and down because I'm just fucking headbanging going around. There were a few cool games that I had on PS4 VR, and I'm curious if I know Moss is on Steam. And I've told you about that.
Yeah, Moss is on the Oculus Store, too. I could pick it up there.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. There was a game that I had, too, but this game made me nauseous because flying in VR is fine until you have to do a barrel roll.
Oh.
Unless you're my buddy Dustin. Like, I put him in my VR so he could play through Ace Combat 7's VR campaign, and I was like, by the way, barrel rolls might make you sick, and he just starts barrel rolling the plane like 7 times. He's like, no, I'm fine. And I'm like, whoa, we got a badass over here. But the game was called Star Blood Arena.
Okay.
and it's just like it's an arena shooter, but you're all in like these little starfighter plane things, and it's just, I don't know, it was fun.
Nice.
And then there was a couple others. I'd have to go look to see what exactly they were, but there's a lot of
Gorn seems fun.
Do what?
Like a big beat 'em. Gorn. It's kind of like a big beat 'em up type game.
I know there's a lot of VR stuff that's come out since I've really dabbled in it, because my VR has been up in my closet for like a year.
Yeah, what have y'all been up to this week, though? I know I've been just jerking around on the Oculus. What about y'all?
I got one. The Battle Pass for Brawlhalla ended today, and we literally just finished getting to level 85 today. Well, you got there yesterday. I got there literally today, last minute, to get the Epic Orion skin and the title. So
yes,
didn't go for completionist, didn't do the rematch mission, but got the last skin, so that's cool.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Hell yeah. I have a few things noted down here. I'm going to cover Septimus 3 first. So the last episode, I said I was going to play Wildlander. Oh, sorry. These are Skyrim mod packs, by the way, or mod lists.
Thank you. Okay.
I was going to play the Wildlander one, which was the really sim-like one that had like eating, drinking, keeping, it was a survival mode style stuff. I was going to play that until Septimus 3 came out. Literally a day and a half after that episode was recorded. It wasn't even released. By the time the episode came out, Septimus 3 had come out. So I started playing that, which I prefer Septimus because it includes the Legacy of the Dragonborn Museum.
Nice. I know you're big on the Legacy of Dragonborn mod. Like you've told me that like that is a make or break mod for you.
Absolutely. Like I won't play Skyrim without it now. And they finally, like, the reason they had updated to 3 and stuff was they had fixed some bugs and things like that. But also, since Anniversary Edition came out, all the Legacy of the Dragonborn stuff got updated to Anniversary Edition except the community creation patches. So that got released. So now that that's out, all of that stuff is now included in the museum as well. So now there's 2 whole new... I was walking around and all of a sudden there's 2 doors I've never seen before in the museum.
Nice.
And I can't tell you the giddiness that I felt when I was like, new stuff! And I went into the rooms and I'm looking around at them and I'm like, oh my God, there's more stuff to get. Yes. Because it turns Skyrim into a collectathon.
Sorry, you need 70 stars before you can open this door.
So I've been dabbling in that and having a good time because I like a good collectathon and I really like Skyrim. So like merging those 2 into one is fantastic.
Have you guys never done a collectathon game on this show? Like, I guess a lot of those were console games, so I don't think like Banjo, but Ukulele would probably be one of the more obvious ones. Then that's never come up.
No, not yet. I've been looking forward to playing
Snake
Ukulele.
Was Snake Pass a collectathon?
It might have been. I didn't get. I think I played about an hour and a half of that game. I really appreciate Snake Pass for what it did, and it's really a cool concept. But fuck, is it hard to control a snake when you actually have to control it like a snake?
Yeah, it's a tricky, wiki little game.
I'm gonna have to add that to my Steam wish list to pick up if it's ever like on sale for $1.
It's fun. I enjoyed it for what it was. Ryan absolutely fucking hated it.
Oh no, I remember that episode. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
We need to have that happen on the show where one of us just absolutely hates a game. Like,
I feel like we've been on spectrums of our game reviews so far. Like, I feel like we've had like someone kind of likes it, someone kind of slightly dislikes it, and someone very dislikes it. But we've never had like one person loves the game and the other 2 are like, "Fuck you, this sucks." Although, if we had recorded Kerbal this week, it was going to probably sound like that, because there was some frustration about early progress.
Just a little. Hopefully next week we'll have better thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, we just kind of need to hammer some shit out. Like, we need to... It is not a game that does great with early game handholding. It really doesn't have a very good early tutorial at all, and that's definitely something y'all can damn it for when we get there, but once you get going, it's really satisfying.
Yeah.
I hope you guys find it satisfying. I don't know yet. I think I'm not 2 weeks from now.
So I also, just for nostalgia purposes, resubbed to Final Fantasy 11, and what a fucking wild feeling I got when I logged back into that game and started playing it. Because I actually, like last time I subbed, like Dave had subbed Shoutout Tadpog Tyler and Dave Play Old Games, and Miller was playing a little bit. And hashtag more Miller on Tadpog Tower and They Play Old Games. I wanted to play with those guys, but then like they ended up, life gets in the way. They never really logged on much. So I kind of just ran around, didn't know what I was doing, and ended up just letting the sub go. This time I decided I'm going to play it by myself and figure shit out. So now that I've been going through, they've added so much to that game since I stopped playing. It's fucking ridiculous, dude. Like just quality of life things, like even stuff from like 14 where like back in the day, if you wanted to teleport, you had to either level up your white mage to learn the teleport spell and then go to the area that you would need to teleport to, touch the teleportation crystal, and that just gives you that general area. So you can teleport to this area A, but you still have to run to area D.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, everywhere in each zone, there's either a home point crystal or a floating book that's a survival guide, and you can warp from those to any of the other ones. So like if you find a home crystal in, let's say Sandoria, one of the towns, but you've been to Juneau and touched the home crystal in Juneau, you can just port between those crystals for 200 gil.
Nice. Which
is a huge quality of life thing. Like that game, I recommend anyone listening to this, if you're gonna ever go check out Tadpog, they did 2 episodes on Final Fantasy 11, and I 100% agree with them that game does not respect your time, or it didn't back then. These days, it respects your time a lot more than it used to. You get experience quicker and things like that too.
I'm just glad that they've backported quality of life stuff into an older game like that, because that is not usually the way things go,
Oh yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying.
If anything, a lot of old games, like they're proud of the fact that they don't have modern features,
Yeah, and I believe that there are still some people who are like, oh well, we play on private servers because we don't like all these quality of life changes. And to those people, I say, enjoy your private server.
Yeah,
I'm going to enjoy these quality of life changes, especially one of the things
over here on RuneScape, 100x experience server. Let's go. I don't actually play RuneScape. I don't know if that means anything. Sorry, RuneScape fans. The one thing that they've added that is the best thing for me, because I'm pretty antisocial on online games just from experience of other people, is they added what's called a trust system. So like you can learn these trusts is what it's called, quote unquote, but then you can summon these guys like magic and they work as party members. So like you find different trusts that have different jobs. Like you might have a paladin or a white mage, a black mage, and you can summon them and you have whatever you need. So you can put a party together and not have to worry about finding other people.
That's cool.
Okay. Yeah, that's very helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've just been playing it like almost like a solo Final Fantasy game because the story's pretty good.
That works, man. That sounds like a good way to do it if you don't have a bunch of buddies playing it. I mean, why not? If the story's good and you're enjoying it, that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I've heard people say some good stuff about the Final Fantasy 14 story, too. Like, it's a legitimate game in the Final Fantasy series, so maybe I should get around to that at some point. But it is very off-putting to me, the MMO thing, Oh,
yeah. It's a huge time sink, and there's a lot to it. But I will say, if you ever get bored and you want to go on YouTube and watch, like, if they have, like, the cutscene story kind of things for 14, bro, it's really good.
I didn't even think about
surprisingly good.
Watching a Let's Play or whatever. That's a good idea.
Before I get into my my rant, I do want to touch on the Fantasy League really quickly.
Yeah, how's that going?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think we haven't updated that in a little while.
Yeah, because there hasn't been too terribly much going on.
You got a million, billion, jillion points from Elden Ring.
Well, yeah. So yeah, I got a 95 in the end. So I got 31 points from that.
Stupid.
Total War Warhammer, I have an 86. Ollie Ollie World got an 86. Tiny Tina Wonderlands got a 78. Star Wars: The Old Republic Legacy of the Sixth got a 62, unfortunately.
Oh no.
King of Fighters 15 got an 81. Lego Skywalker Saga 82, and Moss Book 2, which is the sequel to the VR game, got an 85. So I'm not doing bad.
Yeah, sounds good.
I have one free spot left because I've drafted Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes, WrestleQuest, which is that little Earthboundy looking wrestling RPG, and I drafted One Piece Odyssey.
Okay.
Because that's like an open world RPG. If it's going to come out and it's like DBZ Kakarot, but One Piece, it should probably do pretty good.
If they could do anything with One Piece, why wouldn't they make a Sea of Thieves like?
I don't know. But that would be cool.
Like, doesn't that sound awesome?
I would love like an anime Sea of Thieves. That would be fun. Let's see if there's been any other releases that have come out. Let's see. Looks like Mike picked up 2 games called Beer and Breakfast and The Quarry. Or I'm sorry, Bear and Breakfast, not Beer and Breakfast.
Turtle Beer Man.
Welcome to the Beer and Breakfast.
Bear
Cheers.
and Breakfast. Looks like Cody picked up the day before. Stephanie picked up Shovel Knight Dig and Sinuous.
Shovel Knight Dig.
I think it's like a sequel, maybe.
It's like
I'm not
I think it's more like. Are you familiar with the SteamWorld Dig game? I think it's kind of like that.
Oh,
but Shovel
okay.
Knight.
Okay,
I
cool.
might be completely wrong, but that's what I remember kind of seeing about it.
I enjoy
I'm gonna
the
have to look into this
SteamWorld games from what I've played of them. They're pretty
Yeah, I
fun.
played the first one. I had it on Switch, bought it on a whim because it was like $1.99. I loved it, dude. That was a ton of fun.
I did bid on and got beat out by, and Mike also bid on and got beat out by Philly G on a game called Return to Monkey Island.
Yeah.
So that's his final pick. So he's got all his game spots filled up.
We're going to see how that goes, 'cause I can see that getting bad reviews too, depending.
Yeah. It's either
That's a high risk, high reward
Yeah.
proposition for sure.
he already had one game that tanked in Babylon's Fall, which got a 43.
Ooh.
So he's been trying to compensate for that by picking up some games. So like Return to Monkey Island, I hope that can either pull him out of that little hole he's in, or it's going to sink him further.
I hope it whips ass because I love the idea of people bringing back those old like adventure type games.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's games like Deponia and stuff, which I guess those are a little dated even now, but those were good for being after that particular generation. They were still good point and clicks.
And I know we were a little rough on Full Throttle when we did the episode on it, but like I don't know, I still would like to see the genre continue to thrive. It feels like it's like relegated to the past, and I would like to see more of it.
We were hard on that game, but that's one of the games that I think we've referenced the most times since. Like, how many times have we just randomly been like, I'm not putting my mouth on
mouth on that.
We were all like leaning into our mics, rushing to be the one that got to say that.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's been some other pickups. Jeremy, my YABSPOD co-host, got F1 Manager 2022. That's his most recent pickup. He told me, because me and him right now,
if you're only going to F1 Manager, I would recommend Fing the 2022.
But he'll be here all week. Tip the veal, try the waitress. I'm ahead right now in actual points and projected points. But Jeremy is in second.
Dang. YABSPOD Jeremy?
And yeah.
Nice.
Yep, YABSPOD Jeremy. He tells me, he goes, I think it's going to be one of us that wins. He goes, but Starfield's going to suck, so you're going to lose out on that. And I went, yeah, okay. You picked Shredder's Revenge, Lord of the Rings, Gollum, and All Elite Wrestling. I guarantee none of those come out this year. So.
I am really worried about at least 2 of those, actually, yeah.
Does anybody pick up Hollow Knight Silk Song? Because you were also going to be disappointed.
Wait, I think somebody did pick up Silk Song. Hold on.
I have the same exact feeling about Silk Song. Like, Silk Song, All Elite Wrestling, I don't think... until they show me, like, this game is about to come out, I don't believe it's ever coming out. That was
Phil's first pick. Was Hollow Knight Silk Song.
Bold choice for a game that's supposed to come out for the last 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty much how...
I mean, at this point, I'm still surprised Breath of the Wild 2 is even on, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Mike dropped that. I think he had that on his list, and then it was put out that it wasn't coming out this year. And he was like, damn it, so he dropped it.
Yeah.
Which I'm still considering dropping the Callisto Protocol, because while that's probably going to be awesome, all it says is release date 2022, and I haven't heard anything.
I mean, at this point, you hardly need more points. You just need to not have a disaster. All you need to do is not pick a game that gets like a 4 rating.
Yeah. And I'm hoping it's from my choices, it's looking good. The one that I'm most worried about is Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes, because Warriors games are either hit or miss.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, yeah, but I don't even think hit or miss is the right way to describe like Musou games in general. It's more along the lines of they're all pretty much medium okay. Like, none of them are super... I heard the Berserk one was really disappointing. So, sorry to Berserk fans out there. But, like, for the most part, like, they're just... you know what you expect when you get a game with the Warriors name on it.
Well, actually, I was on Facebook where the smartest of people roam. I saw in this comment section the other day, this guy was asking about Hyrule Warriors, and somebody commented and they were like, I got Hyrule Warriors expecting Breath of the Wild 2, and that's not what it was at all. So that game sucks. And I was like, do you live under a rock? What the fuck? Why didn't you watch a fucking trailer for it? Like, it is obviously a Warriors style beat 'em up game. Like, what the fuck? People be fucking dumb.
Yo, I bought Samurai Warriors thinking it was a sequel to Way of the Samurai, and it wasn't.
Yeah, and I bought Way of the Samurai thinking it was going to be based on Samurai Pizza Cats.
Oh, that was a joke just for me. Thank you.
And that leads me into... So, Kingdom Hearts 4 got announced. I freaked out because I love Kingdom Hearts. That is a game that I am probably going to choose at some point this year to play.
All right.
The original Kingdom Hearts, because I love it.
I've definitely been wanting to get an introduction to that series because it is impenetrable from the outside, and I need someone to grab my hand.
Yeah, for sure. I can lead you guys through the Kingdom Hearts world. I can't tell you what the fuck's going on in the story, but...
They can't either. It's okay.
Well, apparently nobody can.
Yeah, I can lead you through.
Apparently that's just how it do.
But it looks really cool. It looked flashy as fuck. Rest in peace, Sora's big goofy clown shoes. He's got normal sized feet now, apparently.
Ooh, does he at least wear big goofy 90s jeans shorts?
I think he's still in the same little get up that he's got. Yeah. I saw somebody say Uncanny Valley Sora is the thing of nightmares. Which cracked me up.
Gosh.
But I'm in a group. I won't say what group because I don't want to offend anybody, but I'm in a group on Facebook and I shared the announcement for the trailer into the group, and I saw where somebody had commented on it, so I went and I clicked it, and it was basically like a paragraph and a half saying how Kingdom Hearts doesn't make any sense and they're just putting out another game that's not going to make any sense, and this series is stupid. So I'm like, all right. So then another comment comes up. That is a
strength, not a weakness. That is what it's known for.
Another comment pops up, and they were like, oh, look, a game releasing that I don't give a fuck about.
Why do people feel the need to make these comments?
And then another comment pops up. Stop watching things
I don't like to watch.
Exactly.
It's like when you see grown-ass adults getting mad about Twilight movies and shit, and it's like, come on, kid. You know it's not for you. Just let it be.
So another comment pops up and it says, if this game's anything like Kingdom Hearts 3, it's gonna suck. And I replied to that one, and I was like, I liked Kingdom Hearts 3. I thought it was fantastic. It looked good and it was fun. And he replied with some GIF, basically, that just the GIF was like trash. It was basically referencing trash. And I just deleted the post. And then I went and ranted about it in a Discord chat that I'm in that has to do with that community. And then I think I ranted to you guys a little bit about it too. And it was just like, what? And if you are somebody, and I'm sorry if listeners, if you are one of these people, take a good long fucking hard look in the mirror and listen to what I'm about to say. If you're one of those people that somebody shares something and they're like, yo, I really like this game, and your first instinct is to be like, that game sucks, I don't like that game, it's stupid, it's shit, go kick a fucking boulder and break all your toes. Like, seriously, there's no fucking need for that. You know how many times people have posted games that I don't like? My first thought isn't to comment and be like, oh, that game fucking sucks. It's just, you know what, I'll give it a like, and I might ask them like, oh, well, what is it about this game that you really enjoy? And try to see it from their perspective, or I just fucking like it and move on, and I don't comment on it because, like, there is no need for it.
Just let people like things.
That's like, what if you find out you enjoy the thing too? Like, I didn't think I was gonna like Borderlands, and I liked Borderlands. Like, maybe play the game, give it a shot, give it a legitimate chance, and open your heart and see if you enjoy it. Don't be a weird bitch about other people's joy.
Even if you've played it and you don't like it.
Yeah, it costs you nothing to shut the fuck up. Exactly.
It's just there's no reason to just spew some bullshit. And like, I see it on Facebook, I see it in Discord, I see it all over places where people are just like, that game sucks. And I'm like, man, I get that sometimes on the show that we talk about how we don't like the games and stuff like that, but like people are actively seeking our opinion when they come to listen to this.
That's what the show is. We say our opinion on something. You came here wanting an opinion on a game. We give it. We didn't just come into your post saying how much you love the game and start saying how awful a game about a dragon, your favorite game ever is. You know, we just did it on our show.
Yeah. And we're not even, we know we're not experts. We are people that play games. We enjoy them. We try them. Sometimes we like them. Sometimes we don't. But even when I give a score, I don't mean it to be like objective. When I say like 7.5 out of 10, I don't mean, and if you think it's a 7 or an 8, you're wrong. What I mean when I say 7.5 is that is how much enjoyment I got out of that game. Like, it is not prescriptive.
Yeah, man. And I saw a little bit later on, another guy that I'm buddies with in that group shared the thing as well, and no one commented on it. Like, they liked it, but no one put a comment on there, and I just commented on it, and I was like, I am so glad that you posted this and didn't get flamed for it like I did this morning. And I was livid about it because there was no fucking need for it.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, it tells me about Kingdom Hearts 2, because, like, if I say Kingdom Hearts is stupid, I'm going to say something you pretty much agree with. It is a weird, convoluted story that barely makes any sense, and people that love Kingdom Hearts are going to go, yeah, it rules, doesn't it?
Yeah, because...
Like, come on!
It's like, while it's not making sense, I'm going to go find the other 72 Dalmatian puppies that I need.
Exactly. You're just having fun out there. And, like, I respect that. And I still have no fucking idea what the fuck Kingdom Hearts is about, honestly. I know it involves the Heartless and Keyblades and shit like that, but I don't know what any of that means.
The only thing that I've gathered from it, and I've played more than a few of the games, is it's like a battle between light and darkness. Like, it's your typical JRPG story masked with a lot of other things.
Do you get to kill God? That's what...
I wanted to make that joke, damn it.
I haven't killed a god yet, but that's not saying that that's not going to eventually become the thing to do.
Goofy may not be a god, but he is a gorsh.
I want to make an RPG where you have to kill Lemmy.
Trick question, dickhead. Lemmy is god.
Oh, it's such a good movie. But yeah, just to put a cap on the whole thing, Kingdom Hearts 4 is probably going to be awesome. And just fucking let people enjoy things.
Yep.
You know, just let people like things.
Period.
Like,
period. End of discussion.
If something sucks, if it doesn't hurt anybody, just let it go. And like, even then, like, just open your heart and give things a chance. Like, I hated this year's Royal Rumble. I was about to not ever watch WWE again after this year's Royal Rumble, right? I watched WrestleMania Night 1, one of the greatest nights of wrestling I've seen in a long time. Like, freaking, sometimes things have ups and downs. Just try stuff. Open your heart, try it.
Yes, Willie is speaking words of wisdom, so let it be. Yeah, anyways. Oh, all right, this week, gentlemen, we have prepared some things, some fan theories and some secrets, some hidden meanings in games and such. Where would you guys like to start? Do you want me to start? Do you want one of you guys want to start? What would you like to do?
Well, I feel like Willie probably has the most like quantity of things to go over. So like maybe we let Willie start with a couple of his secrets and Easter eggs and stuff, and then we'll move on to a couple of our theories, Dalton.
Okay, works for me.
So I kind of misunderstood the idea of this episode. I kind of figured we were doing like stuff that was like not necessarily in a video game, but kind of got cut, or like and it turned out they were doing fan theories. So my stuff is going to be a little different from what the rest of them are doing. But I would like to lead with 2 Easter eggs that made it into games because both of them extremely cracked me up.
I love a good Easter egg. I just want to throw that out there. Like,
absolutely,
they're tremendous.
So most of my other stuff is going to be, after I do these 2 Easter eggs, the rest of it's going to be stuff that was left in the game that was like in the ROM or in the source code that is in there but not accessible through the game. These first 2 are Easter eggs that actually did make it into the game. And the first one I want to bring up is Tiger Woods 1999 for the Sony PlayStation.
Okay.
I had that game. Okay.
It's a great game. It's a classic of golf gaming. Golf games are great. This game, however, was probably best known because the original release of it had a little short in it that was left on disc by a prankster at the studio who put it in like 4 days before the game actually went gold. Dalton made a face. I couldn't hear him, but he knows. It's The Spirit of Christmas, Jesus versus Santa, one of the 2 pilots for South Park.
That's right, dude. I remember hearing about that and being like, what?
Yeah, the entire episode is on the disc as a random file that if you rename the file from .dat to QuickTime, it will let you play it, and it's just straight up that entire episode.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And then the other thing I wanted to share is just, I love when people hide stuff deep, deep, deep in a game.
I love hiding stuff deep, deep, but continue.
Yeah.
Yes, deep.
Yeah.
Big deep. So, in Doom Eternal, I mean, the Doom soundtrack is fantastic. It's the main songs have been composed by, Bobby Prince for the original 2 Doom games, Aubrey Hodges, I want to say, for 64 and PlayStation, and then Doom 4 and Doom 5 were done by Mick Gordon. And Mick Gordon had an incredible soundtrack thing. He hit something really cool in the soundtrack, which is if you actually open up the soundtrack of Doom Eternal in a spectrogram for the song Welcome Home Great Slayer, you see this image.
Whoa.
Oh, holy
That's
shit.
awesome.
Dude, you should screen grab that and post that in the Discord, if you will. Not right now.
I'm absolutely
but,
going to, because there's no other way I could have shared it with you guys. I didn't want to spoil it before we got into it, but I'm actually going to put it into the group chat now.
That is fucking awesome.
It is a picture of a cyber demon fighting the Doom guy, and it's so cool.
So if you guys want to see that image, come join the Discord.
Yeah.
I'll put that in y'all's private chat. So
we'll put it in the... Wait till the
it
episode comes out, then we'll put it on the main channels.
Fair enough. It's a really sick image, though. Holy shit.
Spectrogram stuff always blows my mind.
Yeah, it reminds me of Year Zero by 9 Inch Nails. They did a bunch of ARG-related stuff for that, and one of them was the hand, the presence. You can see a hand reaching down, in one of the spectrograms of Year Zero. I really loved Year Zero. I wasn't even a big 9 Inch Nails fan, but that album had this great ARG to it.
I have a couple Easter eggs, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're all. I have 3 of them. They're all 3 from Just Cause. So in Just Cause 2, you can fly your plane, and there's different islands. Well, there's this one secluded island that if you fly over it, there are letters spelled out. I think it says "Help Us" or something like that in logs on the side of the island on the beach. And if you fly over it, your plane will die, and you crash down onto the island, and you start hearing weird shit coming from in the woods and stuff. It's a fucking Easter egg for Lost.
Nice.
Wow.
And that's so random. But yeah, it's just this fucking island where you hear really weird shit, and it's supposed to be the island from Lost that you crash on.
Here was the hand from Year Zero.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
cool, but I think that Cyber Demon was maybe even cooler.
The other 2 are from Just Cause 3, and atop one of the high mountains in Just Cause 3. If you find it, you got to stumble upon it unless you look it up. But Cloud's Buster Sword is just stuck in the side of the mountain.
Nice.
Because Square Enix does Just Cause, and then you can also find a crater. There's this big fucking crater, and you'll see something sitting in the middle of it, right? And if you go down into the crater and look in the middle to see what it was that caused this crater, it's fucking Mjolnir.
Nice.
Just Thor's hammer, just
worthy.
Boom. And you can grapple hook that thing to a helicopter and try to take off, and it's going to yank your helicopter back down to the ground. You cannot pick it up. It's fantastic.
That's awesome. It just reminds me, when we were kids, because Willie, as you guys know, has always been a huge Doom fan. I remember when he first showed me, the icon of sin just being John Romero's head.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love that shit, dude. I remember when we played through that game, I used the no clip to go in there and look at it. I'm just like, son of a bitch.
Yep.
And
inside the boss of the brain. The brain of the boss. It's just John Romero's head on a spike.
It wasn't the whole marketing campaign was if you wanted to beat Dude 2, you had to kill John Romero.
It's the voice when you enter the level. It actually has the words backwards said, "To win the game, you must kill me, John Romero."
Nice. And he wasn't lying.
Yep.
Tremendous. All right. Do you want to do another... or no, I see you have these broken up into sections.
Yeah, that's the end of the Easter eggs ones I have. So the rest of the ones I have are things that programmers put into the ROM of the game that was not accessible during the game, but you could find if you looked in the ROM or the source code. So I'll do those next, but I'll let you guys have a cycle.
Okay. Well, I have one from Kingdom Hearts, since we were just talking about that. And we'll... I realize that you two probably will not understand these references, but some of our listeners might, good. And I can explain things. Ventus, Terra, and Aqua are from the future. Now, Ventus, Terra, and Aqua are all the Birth by Sleep characters. Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, there's 3 different little campaigns. You play it from 3 perspectives. And it's Ventus, Terra, and Aqua. So, Ventus, Terra, and Aqua, and all Birth by Sleep characters are from the future. Terra is actually a descendant of Riku, and Aqua is the descendant of Kairi, and Ventus is the descendant of Sora or Roxas, depending on what you believe. Why? Well, sometime in the far future, Master Xehanort tries another Keyblade War. Yada, yada, yada. This is a long paragraph, so I'm trying to shorten it up a little bit. Terra and Aqua will one day defeat him, but he tries to kill them while they're undergoing training from their teacher. They learn of their ancestors through Master Yin Sid. Terra then goes to find Riku back in time. Hence why he's seeing ancestors' future self through visions slowly forming into Ansem. Kairi goes to save her past self from a universe and a protective spell on her, while Ventus seeks Sora to stay with his heart to protect him. All of that makes about as much sense as actual Kingdom Hearts. But that's a theory that that instead of being from the past like they're presented as in the game, that they're actually from the future.
Yeah, and I can tell that like if you've played Kingdom Hearts, that would make a lot more sense to you. So hopefully some of you listeners enjoyed that one.
Yeah, there's a lot of names that you have to know for that.
I mean, it is interesting that the 3 characters you mentioned have names that are kind of elemental related. Because I think you said they were, Ignis, Terra, and Ventus?
Ventus, Terra, and Aqua.
Ventus, Terra, and Aqua, which basically sounds like it means, wind, fire, and land, or something like that.
Yeah, probably water.
Yeah, Aqua would be water.
Oh, wait, Aqua. Where did I get... I think you said it was one called Terra.
Oh, yeah, there's Terra. Terra, Ventus, and Aqua.
Wind, earth, and water. No fire.
Okay.
The fire's in your heart.
True.
I thought you said it was an Ignis.
No, Ignis is in Final Fantasy 15.
Oh. I'm so confused.
Different Square product. Yeah, welcome to Kingdom Hearts.
Dragon Quest.
When you say I'm confused, you have started to understand Kingdom Hearts.
Namaste.
All right, Nate, hit us with one.
All right. So I kind of like the theories are a little bit darker in video games, but only if they kind of make sense. So this is one that I think actually makes a ton of sense. That's really kind of sad for Pokemon Red and Blue. So you have your rival, Gary, right? Well, on the SSN, you fight him and beat him there, right? And he's had this Rattata that he evolved into Eradicate with him this whole time. And eventually, you fight him on the SSN, you beat him. The next time you see Gary is in the Lavender Town Pokemon Cemetery, which is where people go to mourn the loss of their Pokemon. He's just chilling there, and you never see his Raticate again. You straight up whooped him so bad that you murdered his Raticate.
Huh.
And that's why he is at the cemetery next when you see him, because you killed his Raticate. You killed him, man.
Yeah, I read that last night, and I was like, oh, fuck, that's fucking... Jesus.
I mean, it makes sense because when there is a Pokemon Cemetery, people mourn the loss of their Pokemon, and that is where you see Gary next after whipping him so bad and never see that Raticate again.
That's fun. I like the 1-2 punch there, where it's like the last time you see the Raticate is the last time before you meet him in Lavender Town, because Lavender Town is famously kind of spooky. There's creepypasta based around Lavender Town. If you play the Lavender Town music backwards, it also sounds fucked up, but it also sounds fucked up forwards.
Yeah.
Lavender Town's spooky. It's a weird place where weird shit happens, and it was a strangely adult moment in a game that was mostly a pretty cheerful game for 10-year-olds up to that point.
This is a really long one, so I'm not going to read it, but I'm going to read you the name of it. and it is
Okay.
Pokemon is a post-nuclear war anarchist utopia.
I've heard a little bit about that one, where it's like, there's a reason why, like, nobody has a father. You never see fathers, you just see mothers, because all these fathers were just lost in war, and you're sending their kids out on their Pokemon adventures because that's all there really is for them at this point, because they're a bunch of fatherless children now running around with their Pokemon. And there's the professors that lived because they weren't warlike. And then you have a few gym leaders. And if you notice in Pokemon Red and Blue, one of those is a military man, like a Sergeant Surge or whatever.
Lieutenant Surge, who
Lieutenant
also
Surge.
is explicitly listed as being American in that game, despite the fact that America doesn't exist, generally speaking, in the Pokemon universe.
So there's some stuff behind that, because like there's not a lot of adults, and most of the adults are women.
I feel like maybe this is what Pokemon Uranium wanted to explore, but it was just kind of ham-handed.
Probably.
And then the only other one I have, and if you have this one on your list, then I'll let you talk about it, but is Ditto is a failed Mew.
Yeah, I've seen that one before. I don't have that one on my list. I didn't go into that one too much. I do have one other Pokemon one, though.
Yeah, this is just mostly, they tried to clone Mew, and it didn't come out properly, and it came out as this amorphous blob. That was Ditto, and that's just where Ditto came
And it
from.
makes sense because they're the only two Pokemon that know the move Transform.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I didn't even think of that.
it also says Mew and Ditto share almost identical colors for their normal and shiny variants.
Yeah.
Mew and Ditto share a common weight of 8.8 pounds. They're both genderless. They both have the same base stats across the board. Or I'm sorry, they both have leveled stats across the board. They're the only Pokemon who can naturally learn Transform. Mew holds the DNA of all known Pokemon, while Ditto can essentially breed with every single Pokemon aside from legendaries.
Huh.
This one's stupid. Ditto's appearance as a scientific blob.
What?
I don't see how that fits into
What's a scientific blob?
Tis I, the scientific blob. I mean, it looks like a blobfish more than anything else.
And the last...
Isn't there a blobfish Pokemon, too?
I can't think of one off the top of my
If
head.
not,
There
they should make one because they're freaking adorable.
The last one that looks cool to me is it was implied that Mewtwo was created on Cinnabar Island, and that's where you can catch Ditto.
Makes sense.
So, yeah.
And then my last Pokemon one, then, is that Pokedex entries are straight up bullshit. Because if you think about it, it's just a bunch of 10-year-olds, like we said, going out and doing all this research for professors, and they're the ones coming back, catching and battling and seeing all these Pokemon, and they're the ones coming to the professors and reporting the results. So of course, like, height and weight are going to be completely jacked up. Oh, how tall was the Charizard you saw, Timmy? It was like really, really tall, Professor, like 5'7", which is Charizard's actual listed height. But if you play like Pokemon Shield and Sword, where the champion Leon has a Charizard, that thing is way taller than him, and Leon is at least a teenager / adult. So I don't buy that Charizard is 5'7".
Well, that's like in the games and stuff, Dragonite is like 8-9 feet or something like that, and in the show, he was like 30 feet tall. He was this massive fucking legendary Pokemon.
Yeah, come to think of it, Dragonair even in the show was like super duper 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 long.
So it's like, Pokedex entries don't make sense. That's all there is to it.
Because everything is just being reported by
exactly.
That makes a ton of sense to me.
And then Willie,
that is.
Before we go to yours, I just have some quick Pokemon evolution theories that I'll run through quickly.
Oh hell, we got to do Venonat. We got to do Venonat.
So, well, I'll see if that's on here. Aerodactyl evolved into Zubats.
Huh.
What? Wait, what? Can you justify that one a little bit?
It says Aerodactyl have gone extinct in the Pokemon world. This theory states that they evolved into the bat Pokemon Zubat. Upon initial inspection, their body, wingspan, and the style of wings are very similar. Aerodactyl's shiny version has a close color scheme to Crobat. And Zubat's next evolutionary stage as well. Crobat only possesses teeth on the lower jaw, and Aerodactyl's lower jaw is built heavily and with only a break and no teeth visible from the upper jaw. Aerodactyl knows Supersonic as well. Bite and wing attacks for starting moves, and Zubat quickly learns those as he levels up.
Yeah. I haven't heard that one before.
Yeah, that actually turned out better than I expected.
Bulbasaur Oddish symbiosis.
What?
What?
This is saying that the plant on Bulbasaur's back is really an oddish growing symbiotically.
Huh.
So yeah, there's that. Butterfree and Venomoth sprites were switched.
That's the one. Yep.
When Butterfree and Venomoth's evolutionary chains are put next to each other, some will say that Butterfree and Venomoth look like they should switch places. Both of these Pokemon sprites are much better suited for the other one's chain.
Yeah, the eyes in particular. Like, if you look at the eyes, Venomoth has the eyes of the rest of the other
Butterfree, because Metapod doesn't really have eyes.
Oh.
You know what I mean.
Yeah. I'm actually looking at a picture of it, and yeah, you're at 100% right. That's weird.
Yeah.
That's real weird. Here's one that everyone knows. Cubones wear the remains of their mother.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's canon.
The skull is the Kangaskhan.
Oh, the Kangaskhan connection. Yeah, that is one of my favorite fan theories, that Kangaskhan may have been the mother of its Cubone, yeah.
Yeah, because they say that in some of the sprites, I don't remember which game it was from, Kangaskhan has the little baby one in her pouch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they say that that's what crawls out and then puts the skull on its head, which is fucking
sad
depressing.
Hell. Yeah.
Gengar is Clefable's shadow.
Yep. Yeah, that one's really cool.
Makes a lot of sense when you look at him. Parasect is controlled by its mushroom.
Yeah, that one's sad too. But it makes sense if you think about like those ants. Like, I can't remember where they're from that get controlled by the fungus down. Like, it's crazy. Like, there was basically zombie ants in the world controlled by fungus.
Ophiocordyceps unilateralis.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, that. That's wild. And the other one on here that jumps out to me is Pyroar and Entei are related. They're the only two lion Pokemon excluding Solgaleo. But that's from Ultra Space, whatever that is.
Okay.
I'm not sure what Ultra Space is.
You're from Ultra Space, bitch.
But yeah, apparently they're related. All right. Yeah. Oh, and then I have something about the Great Pokemon War, but I'm going to skip that.
You already kind of mentioned it.
Yeah. So, all right, Willie, what you got?
I want to do a few things that were put in the ROM by certain people that made video games. I think these are very fun. I misunderstood the assignment, so I didn't do any fan theories, although I'm very happy that we got to talk about some of my favorite fan theories already. But so what I've got here is some things that were put into the ROMs that were put there by the programmers as a hidden message that they didn't expect to actually be seen by anyone except ROM hackers and people who actually had access to the source code. So for the first one, here's one from Ganso Sayuki Super Monkey Daiboken, which just has a cute little message, the programmer just wanted to get his stuff out there, and he just wanted to find a lady. And so he wrote this. This is translated from the Japanese by the people, or translated by the Cutting Room Floor user Glitterberry. The text is, Designer, Kaoru Nakajima, 26 years old, born 1960 in Toyokawa City, Aichi Prefecture. I want to lick some pussy. I want a perverted miss. I love vagina and the clitoris.
Dude, that is fucking tremendous.
I love it so much.
I hope he got married. I hope he found his perverted miss.
Same.
It
was a bad video game. It's a famously kind of crummy Journey to the West type game. Didn't do good. But that, you know what? I'm happy for you, Kaori. Just hope you got there.
Oh my goodness.
And then another one from the Nintendo 64 game, The New Tetris. The programmer David Pretty made a few notes in the code, including, I must say, it was a fun time coming down to San Francisco to do The New Tetris, although there were a few problems. First of all, being our producer, Dan. My god, is this guy useless or what? I don't hate you, Dan, but you suck, and I mean suck as a producer. You should go back to testing video games, but I doubt you could even manage that properly. I feel sorry for you. During this project, you just sat around and played video games, StarCraft and EverQuest. Don't even deny that. When you were working, it was just making stupid Excel spreadsheets to try to tell me how many bugs I had left to fix on a graph. Like, what the fuck is that? Who cares? I have the bug list in front of me. Like, I need to see it in freaking Technicolor. So, Dan, I must say this. Hold on to and fake your job while you can, because once they find out how truly useless you are, you will be out of a job. I cannot think of any skill set you would fit into in this industry. So you better hold on tight. In parentheses. This guy thought I could save a name in 8.4 bits. Like, 0.4 bits? What the fuck is about 0.4 bits? It's either on or off, not in between. But enough about you. Then he goes on to rant about several of his other
That's tremendous, dude.
And most of them are pretty nice. He has pretty much nice things to say about his teammates, even the ones he didn't actually like that much. He says that the musician did, like, a great job, except he was very lazy, and he just kind of wishes the guy worked harder.
Story of my life.
That's the musician lifestyle, right, Dalton?
Yeah, it really is.
I will do one more. I'll do one more from the ROM of an old game before I pass it back to one of you guys again. I got many more after this one too, but I feel like I'm kind of
No, you're good.
monopolizing it. But from the NES game Iron Tank, or in Japan, Great Tank, this ROM was had a bit of code from a guy named Yukio Kaneda, which says, Programa no keinte desu. Nintendo no boke aho kasu shine tsubareru Famicom nanka kiraida. Which means...
Indeed.
This is the programmer, KNT. Oh,
that was for you.
That was great. Thank you. This is the programmer, KNT. Those idiots at Nintendo are fucking assholes. Die, go bankrupt, I hate the Famicom.
Wow. Those are strong words, man.
Yeah.
Apparently, so that was a Nintendo 64 game with some hate and a Nintendo or a Famicom game with some hate. Apparently, there were some issues in Nintendo back then.
No kidding.
I mean, there's issues all over the place. My next one is freaking going to be a European game for the ZX Spectrum. So, like, they are all over the place. People just could not stop themselves from putting little rants in their video games.
All right, what you got next, Nate?
All right, the next one is Final Fantasy VIII. So the whole theory goes that Squall is dead. At the end of Disc 1, Squall gets basically an icicle thrown through his chest, and then that's where the disc cuts off. And then Disc 2 starts, and no one ever mentions it again. Everybody's just there hanging out with Squall, and everything's kind of normal. People say that that's all part of Squall's dream moving forward. From Disc 2 on is just Squall's dream. I hate this theory, because that makes everything about Final Fantasy VIII so damn pointless.
Yeah, it really does. It's like what he imagines should happen as he's dying. And I like the tie-in to that is like the ending sequence when it's like it's showing like these things that he's seeing, like Renoa, and then it fades away. And it's like him losing his memories as he's finally dying. Like,
I just kind of figured that the ending was that because of time compression and all that.
Yeah, because there's an explanation
like the
for
side
that.
Effects of, yeah, the side effects of coming back from time compression. Whereas, like, but it really doesn't make sense that he gets absolutely murked at the end of Disc 1 and it just never comes up again.
No, it doesn't have a wound.
He's just fine. He's just chill. He's just chilling.
Yeah. He doesn't have a big fucking hole through his chest. There's no bandaging.
Yeah.
Like, and all of a sudden he goes from being just a seed, just a regular seed, to all of a sudden he's the fucking leader.
Yeah.
And all of that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
and all of a sudden he starts caring about Rinoa after that.
Yeah.
Because he didn't before at all. He kind of freaking hated her.
Speaking of Renoa, I was excited when you said that you picked the Final Fantasy VIII theory and it was Squall was dead, because I also have a Final Fantasy VIII fan theory. And it is that Renoa is Ultimecia.
Well, that's kind of true, and even in the canon, in the sense that she is sorceress.
Yeah. So it says, a popular theory for Final Fantasy VIII is that the protagonist and the love interest of the main character, Squall, Renoa Hartley, is actually the main villain, Ultimecia. At a point in the game, Adia asks Renoa to choose a knight for emotional support, as her power as her sorceress, and Squall volunteers.
I feel like Deutero antagonist is very strong for Renoa. She is not even close to that. She's like the fifth most important character in the game.
I agree. If anybody's the second most important character, it's Zell. Fight
Zell rules.
Zell was
Zell's
awesome.
my favorite character.
So yeah, Squall volunteers to be her knight, which fans speculate that after the game's events, Squall dies defending Renoa, and she, mad with grief, seeks to create time compression to be reunited with her beloved. The idea is based on several hints within the game, such as the fact that Ultimecia's guardian force bears the same name, Griever, as the ring that Squall gives to Renoa during the course of the game. However, before fighting Griever, Ultimecia's claim to attach one of the party members, Squall, or claims to attach to one of the party members, Squall. It can be assumed that in doing so, her guardian force, in fact, Ultimecia herself, takes a part of Squall, which he holds close, which is the Griever emblem. As such, it should be noted that the Griever is not only part of the ring, but presumably the lion head at the end of his keychain and on part of his mini belts. It also says it's worth noting that both Renoa and Ultimecia share near identical facial structure in the FMV sequences.
Yeah, because they were really good at making defined facial structures for characters in JRPGs back in the 90s.
Which is emphasized by the final shot of Renoa's face within the game, which flashes several times to Ultimecia's. Furthermore, they're the only two sorceresses who are shown to have wings, and it can be expounded as to her friends die around her. Renoa becomes dark and twisted, and yet Squall kept his promise to be beside her as always. As such, he became Griever.
Yeah, it's just they literally both have heart-shaped faces. Or whatever. Huh.
Yeah, man. So that's Renoa is Ultimecia.
It's a better theory than Squall is dead.
Yeah.
Wait, dead Squall is Ultimecia.
I do have one more quick Final Fantasy one, and it's what really killed Aerith. Okay, so
A big freaking sword!
So this says that the sword goes through Aerith, and there was no blood shown or anything during the death scene.
That is true,
Which-
because it was a game from 1996.
It says it could logically mean that she simply passed out from the shock after Sephiroth's sword severed her spinal cord.
Spinal cord.
Her spinal cord.
And Cloud himself accidentally kills her when he buries her at sea.
Oh, God.
That's just
It's
so
just adding a step to
unnecessarily
how she
mean.
died. There's no reason.
Yeah, basically. Basically. Let's see.
How many theories you got left,
got-
Dalton? I've got one more, so...
1, 2...
If you guys want me to pop back into ROM messages, I have about 3 more of those left.
Yeah, spank one of those
Okay, yeah.
down.
I've got 4 left, so so go ahead.
Oh shit, you got 4 more theories?
One of them short though.
Actually, I
Yeah,
think
go
it's
for it, Dalton.
Next.
Okay. Metal Gear Solid 3 is nothing but a virtual mission.
That is so really legitimately what Kojima would have done that I, having not played 3 and don't know that game's story back to front. Like, I mean, part of 2 was not real because of,
Yeah.
that makes sense to me. That actually makes genuinely
Seems like
that makes
something
sense.
Hideo Kojima would do, for sure.
Yeah, so basically, the gist of it says it comes from one Tyler Humphrey at Twinfinite. Consider the evidence. At the beginning of the game, Major Zero, who was the Zordon to Naked Snake's Green Power Ranger, that's what this says.
What a sentence, you nerd.
It informs us that we are about to embark on a virtuous mission. Naked Snake mishears this and asks, "Virtual mission?" Oh, I can do that better.
mission?
Virtual mission? Yeah. Snake.
I'm here to kick ass and do the wrong impression, and I'm all out of ass. I'm looking really proud of myself, and they're both looking at me like, what the fuck have you just done?
It just basically goes on to say that a lot of things in the game are references to like Escape from New York and things like that, and that they think that it's a training mission.
There's references to Escape from New York in the game where the main character's name is Snake. Neat. Good catch.
Yeah, and he wears an eye patch, and he talks like this.
Cool. Good work.
But yeah, it's basically just saying that it's a training mission. Whether it's for Snake or Raiden, that I don't know. But yeah, that's it. So yeah, then I'll let Willie knock out one of yours, and then we'll go back and
I'll
forth.
just do my next one. This one is less fun than the last couple, but for the Addams Family for the ZX Spectrum, apparently the guy who had programmed this had just had his car broken into and was super duper fucking pissed about it. So like in the ROM, there's like 6 different messages where he's complaining about car thieves, and so he's like, car thieves and burglars who are the scum of this earth should all be hanged. Then there's a separate message. There is no justification for crime. Separate message. If someone breaks into your house or tries to steal your car, you should have the right to shoot them dead. They are no more use to society than a rabid
Good
dog.
God.
Jesus.
This
That's
guy wears
intense.
a red hat and attends QAnon rallies now.
That's the wildest thing, is this is clearly from a British
Oh,
game.
yeah. He was a big fan of
That's
Brexit.
the part that's blowing me away.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very American in tone. Like, the worst kind of American. But it was a ZX Spectrum game. We basically didn't have that system.
Yeah, this
over
dude
here.
has one of those bumper stickers that says shoot your local heroin dealer.
Right.
Oh, fucking A, dude. All right, Nate, do you want me to knock out another one since you've only got the one left, or do you want to go ahead and do
Sure,
it?
I'll just go ahead and do the last one I have, because that way I can just listen to what you fellers got. The last one I have is from the Portal series. Companion cubes are people. So there are people inside of the companion cubes, and there's a little stuff backing it up. Like if you go into some of those little lore rooms in Portal and stuff, you can see like where all the drawings and stuff, and how like GLaDOS tells you, if the cube speaks to you, do not answer, or whatever, stuff like that. So I was saying there's a possibility that this cube's going to talk to you because there's a person in it.
Oh, that's wild. Now, are we talking like a person crammed inside of it like Five Nights at Freddy's, or just their sentience?
So what I've gathered is crammed inside of it like a failed test subject that they're eliminating now. They just put it into a companion cube that gets incinerated later.
Jesus Christ. That makes sense.
That's pretty heavy.
That makes sense for that Portal like world. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't put it past him, that is the peak zone to be in. I wouldn't put it past him.
I could see Valve doing it.
Oh yeah, 100%. Also, like going back to Easter eggs, the little Easter eggs between Aperture Science and Black Mesa are hilarious. I love that. Like, I always appreciate when developers intertwine their games, even if it's just little Easter eggs like that, just little nods to fans. Like, oh yeah, we got you guys. So my next one is, and I don't have a lot of context for this because I haven't played it yet, but I know both of you have. Most of Undertale never happened.
There's some really deep lore to that game, honestly.
So the theory, as indicated by the title, this theory says most of Undertale never happened. Let's see. Info that leads to it. Frisk always has their eyes closed. No one could survive the fall without going into a coma, even with flowers. Maybe Undertale is a kind of weird-like dream. In the true pacifist route, in the end you wake up on the flower bed, but they say you were asleep for ages. Like a coma for a long time. And they were worried that you weren't going to wake up.
Yeah. Hey, there's definitely stuff like that. I just like to play the game.
Yeah, I'm interested in playing that game in general.
I would love to do that one. Like I said, hopefully this year for the show. Like I said, I liked playing that in the winter time, so maybe a November, December type of game for us.
Yeah, I'd be down. All right, what you got next, Bill?
Mechanically speaking, a lot of it didn't happen because, you replay the game. You do different routes. People always do that.
Yeah.
And that the game mechanically has answers to that, which is one of the things that's most interesting about it.
Totes.
Not that I've finished the game ever in any mode, but
I've done it twice now. I've done like a regular run and a pacifist.
Neutral and pacifist? Nice. But you don't have the guts to do the genocide.
I'm going to do that
one,
for the show.
Okay.
I've heard that
I don't want to.
I
really don't want to hurt them.
The genocide run has the coolest song because that's where you get to hear Sans' music. Yeah.
Yep. That's the main reason I would do it, is just I really want to see that fight. But oh my god, I don't want to do everything it takes to do that fight.
Well, what you got next, bud?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right, I guess I have 2 left. The next one is the Windows and Mac OS port of the PlayStation 1 game Spider-Man. And there was a programmer on this team named Matt Duncan. And throughout the code on the CD-ROM, the code just keeps absolutely blasting Matt for being bad at coding. Here's some random lines from the hidden developer comments that are visible in there. Null pointer to target POS. Fix this, Mr. Matt Duncan. This shouldn't be 0. Remove state from table. These aren't equal. Fire Matt immediately. What? No waypoint in cache? Matt needs to fix the chase player routine. Fire Matt after kicking him decidedly in the nutsack. Fire Matt, he fucked up the Rhino XA. Actually, kick him in the nuts first.
Jeez.
Not enough slots. Fire Matt. Unknown substate. Fire Matt. Demote Matt immediately. Fire Matt immediately, please.
Jesus Christ. Imagine everybody
It is
your
widely
job.
believed that Matt himself is actually the one that wrote those lines in.
Oh, okay. Because I was about to say, dude, imagine your whole team hating you like that.
Just fuck Matt, right?
Fuck Matt. And then finally, this is from the Doom source code. Like Doom. It is in... Oh, let's see. I had the source file open a little earlier. It is from dstrings.c in the Doom source code. You can go look it up yourself if you want to look up Doom, dstrings.c.
These nuts.
In Doom... Fuck you. Anyway, so when you quit out of Doom, there's a little message that pops up. It says a whole bunch of different things. There were a few of them that were commented out. In the source code, they're listed as Final Doom ? But they weren't used in Final Doom. They were just never used. But they were just some extra rude messages that John Romero and his friends added to the thing. I'd leave. This is just more monsters and levels. What a load. Suck it down, asshole. You're a fucking wimp. Don't quit now. We're still spending your money. There is no message. This page left intentionally blank. Hey, Ron, can we say fuck in this game?
I like those, dude. I like the ending message. I really would wish they did the this page is supposed to be left blank and just would have let that in there. That would have been fucking hilarious. Oh man.
That's all I got. I am now tapped out for the episode. Out of juice.
Okay, so I've got 2 more fan theories, and then I've got an article about fan theories that were confirmed by studios.
Nice.
So the last 2 fan theories I have are about Animal Crossing. All right. The first one is that Animal Crossing is set in purgatory.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
It says, in Animal Crossing games, you the player character, are actually dead. You are driven, quote unquote, to purgatory by car or train, depending on the game. Now, many people regard purgatory as a place of punishment, but others understand it's sort of a waiting room. You enter a quote unquote town that is populated with cute humanoid talking animals. This seems perfect for your character, a small child, the perfect environment to keep you calm and relaxed. Your character is clearly unaware that they have died, and this is something your own personal purgatory seeks to hide from you. Why? Because your character is not in heaven yet, and it isn't safe from suffering heartache and other traumas from the knowledge that know that they've passed on. And it just talks about how nothing in the game really makes sense, except it's just becoming fathoms of someone's mind as they're in the afterlife, which essentially, and you can never leave the town. That's the big kicker.
You can check out anytime you like.
But you can never leave.
Nate, that sounded like the Jackass thing.
When your character will be able to enter into heaven is unknown, but in Animal Crossing New Leaf, it is possible that your character will be able to ascend into paradise once the town tree reaches its full growth stage. So I'm sure that is exactly what kicked off that entire theory.
This is Graveyard Keeper is what you've done.
Yeah, pretty much. The other fan theory for Animal Crossing is child kidnapping and slave labor cult theory.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, but I mean, I have definitely heard generally that Tom Nook is like in charge of this ring.
Yeah, it says the game itself represents a human trafficking operation where children are lured in by friendly characters and kidnapped. The Animal Crossing series may seem child-friendly, with friendly animals characters. However, these animals may have a dark secret when it comes to introducing the player to their community. In fact, the animals do indeed kidnap young, naive children and place them into slave labor, pretending to kids that it's a really fun, loving community. The evidence is the start of the game, the player was introduced to a character named Cap'n, who takes them to the Animal Crossing community. However, Cap'n is actually based on the Japanese mythological river demon called Kappa, which are infamously known for luring and then kidnapping children. It is worth mentioning of his creepy speeches and tone, stating things that children he considers them so gullible. The other theory to this is Tom Nook and the never-ending debt.
Yeah.
Which is what you just touched on. Which is just, you get introduced to the raccoon character and you just pay him off, but your debt never really ends because everything you do increases it. So, it is a child kidnapping and slave labor cult game. Yeah.
As you do.
As you do. So, moving on from those, fan theories that studios actually confirmed.
Yeah, let's go. I'm interested in this.
Okay.
Sorry, I meant to do my Alucard voice. I'm interested in this.
The Shinra Corporation's secret origins. Final Fantasy is basically the video game equivalent to James Bond movies. Genre-defining stories with consistent elements and extremely loose continuity. The Final Fantasy franchise, who's wrote the rules for nearly every element you picture, yada, yada, yada. That's all bullshit. Fans have theorized for years that any of the dozens of alternate universes are connected through magic or technology. But one of the most compelling examples is that of Shinra. A supporting character in Final Fantasy X-2 eventually goes on to found the Shinra Company.
Wait, what?
It's what it says. A supporting character in Final Fantasy X-2 eventually goes on to start the Shinra Company.
There's a very minor character in Final Fantasy X called Shinra, but I didn't...
Yoshinori Kitase, the director of Final Fantasy VII, obliquely confirmed this in an interview at Kotaku. I won't completely come out and say that it is the same world, he cautioned. However, Shinra in Final Fantasy X-2 was created by Kazushige Nojima, the scenario writer. And when he thought him up, he thought it might be good if people would imagine that after a few years after the story of Final Fantasy X-2, that person, Shinra, will grow up and start the Shinra Company. So that is something that he did hint in there.
That's really weird, though, because, 10 and 7 are both the Final Fantasy games that have, the strongest conception of, souls and afterlives, and they're completely disparate concepts.
I don't know, man. Final Fantasy be like that. Okay, the next one. Twilight Princess is a sequel to Majora's Mask.
Okay. There's an official last timeline of Zelda games now where it's there's a couple of them where he failed in the first couple games and then that becomes one timeline and all of that.
I've been meaning to look into more of the Link timelines because I know that people have really broken that shit down hardcore.
I think at this point there's 5 different Zelda timelines. Not different from each other, but canonical breaking points where it forms 5 different stories.
Yeah. In Twilight Princess, there are hints that the game connects to Majora's Mask, despite the former game's restoration of the classic Hyrule, Ganondorf, Zelda paradigm. Multiple characters in Twilight Princess utilize design elements that reference the look of Majora's Mask. And a story element in Twilight Princess mentions that a villainous race, the Twili, were once banished to a mysterious shadow realm. Fans were convinced that this quote-unquote shadow realm was really Termina, directly connecting the two games and restoring Majora's Mask back into the Zelda continuity. God, I keep wanting to say continuity or whatever the fuck. That's just not how you say that word. The creators eventually confirmed the two games' connection in an official timeline of the various Zelda timelines / realities, showing Twilight Princess directly following Majora's Mask.
You gotta love it when the fans write something so good they just put it into the timeline itself, because they didn't think of that. The fans did, and they're just like, yeah, let's use that.
Yeah. 100. The Rito in Wind Waker are descendant from the Zora.
The Rito are the bird people.
Yeah. And the Zora are the swimmers, right? Yeah. So it says the game seems like Majora's Mask to almost be willfully non-canonical, with a reimagining of both Link himself and the world around him. Still, attentive fans were convinced that the Rito, a race of bird people in the Wind Waker, were actually an evolutionary descendant of the Zora, a classic Zelda race of fish people, thus tying Wind Waker to a larger Zelda timeline. In the game, Rito uses a symbol very similar to the Zora's banners in previous games, and one character, Medi, excuse me if I'm saying these names wrong, mentions a bloodline that can be traced back to a Zora sage. That's all fans needed to theorize about how the evolution could have happened and how it affected the Zelda continuity as a whole. And then basically, we created the Rito as the evolved form of the Zora that appeared in Ocarina of Time, and the Korogs are what the Kokiri became once they left the forest, said series producer Eiji Aonuma. Ah, man. Yeah, I fucked his name all up. I apologize. Not that you're listening. They appear different, but they have inherited in their blood.
Nice.
So, another one is this is one that I think is pretty well known. Super Mario 3 is a play.
Don't think we need to get in that. Everything's just a set piece. Mario exits stage left off of every show because stage left is actually right for the audience perspective. So Mario always leaves stage left for him.
Hell yeah.
And I mean, the opening has the curtain and everything's screwed on, and
So here's one that I didn't even like piece together that this needed to be a thing, but apparently the characters in Super Smash Brothers aren't the quote unquote real characters.
No, they're toys. They're toys that are being animated and played with.
I mean, yeah, it's basically just saying that the focus on trophies and Blink Your Missile show could actually get the trophy to 3D Fighter Mania fan games are actually just a dramatic representation of kids playing with toys.
That's why you're the Master Hand, playing with the toys.
Oh. Yeah, see, I'm not a huge Smash Bros. Player, so I didn't know any of that. So when I was reading this, I was like, well, I mean, I never imagined that they would be the real characters anyway. Like, but with y'all saying that, this gives that a lot more context. Because I was like, I'm reading through this, because I didn't read all of these the other day. So when I just read that one in the top, in the the description of it, I was like, what the fuck does that even mean? But I didn't want to spoil it.
I think that makes more sense canonically than the idea that all these characters got together from their multiple universes and showed up into a weird fighting thing where they're fighting for no obvious reason.
Yep.
Like, it's literally kids with their hands mashing video game characters together.
Because I don't want to see the world in which Terry from King of Fighters exists at the same time period as a squid kid from Splatoon.
That would be kind of strange. Metal Gear 5's...
You're a kid, now you're okay!
Metal Gear 5's Nuclear Secret. Have either of you ever heard about this?
No.
Seen this? Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
I haven't, and I don't want to get too deep into Metal Gear because I kind of want to get into that series.
Well, this is for the online, so it has nothing to do with the actual story.
Okay.
There was a hidden secrets to unlock in the game throughout... the actual hidden secret was an unlockable cutscene, data mined from the game itself, but the catch was that no one had any idea how to unlock it. Fans did have one theory, though. The cutscene was achievable only if every single player on the online multiplayer server got rid of their nukes. And the nukes are the most powerful weapon in the online game, right? So everyone had to get rid of their nukes. And I think that eventually... they did this, or they were like still working on it, because there was a running tally on Konami's Twitter about how many remaining nukes were left in the multiplayer world. But leave it to Kojima to think of, like, oh yeah, there's a hidden cutscene. Then if you want to see it, then everyone has to get rid of nuclear war. Everyone, like, it's just fucking wild.
Good old Kojima.
Oh, Kojima. The next one is Braid, the game Braid.
Braid has a couple of them. I'm going to go ahead and guess. One, you're actually the villain is pretty much the obvious read of the actual game. So it's going to be, the game is a metaphor for the invention of the nuclear bomb.
It is, Braid is about the atomic bomb.
There we go. We got that one covered now.
Yeah. Basically, once the secret ending is collected, the princess explodes. After a famous Oppenheimer quote, I am become death, destroyer of worlds.
Destroyer of worlds.
Pops up. That's fucking dark, bro. And it was confirmed by the studio that is absolutely true. The next one is a thing for Outlast 2, and I am planning on playing that Halloween time, so we're going to skip over that one. Symmetra in Overwatch is autistic.
Yeah, I saw that. I actually saw that when I was looking through stuff earlier, and I thought that was pretty cool.
I don't know enough about Overwatch or Symmetra to know that, but that's pretty cool if that's true.
Yeah, I do not know either, but it does say that the director, Jeff Kaplan, later confirmed this theory, saying, it's very astute of you to notice that she mentioned the spectrum in our comic. Symmetra is autistic. She is one of our most beloved heroes, and we think she does a great job of representing just how awesome someone with autism can be.
That's really nice.
So I thought that was cool.
Kind of makes you just kind of happy.
Representation matters, folks.
And this last one, and I'm glad it's last because it has to do with Sonic.
Oh no. Like, Sonic should be first. He's the fastest hedgehog in the world.
Would either of you like to guess what it is?
If it involves Sonic. Can, Nate, you take a first guess and I'm going to ask a question.
Eggman's not actually a villain. Okay.
No.
What generation of Sonic is it?
Genesis, I think.
All the way from the start. I got nothing. I can't think of anything that the first generation of games would have had.
Michael Jackson
composed the music for Sonic 3. Yeah.
worked on Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Yep.
Which made me be like, what? I have to go listen to that soundtrack because I've never played 3.
Don't play it on the PC then, because it's only on the original Genesis cartridges you can hear the soundtrack that Michael Jackson worked on.
Oh, okay. So I'll just emulate it.
You'll want to find an emulator for it, but there's definitely, not only did he do stuff, but like Ice Cap Zone was written by a Confederate of Michael Jackson. It's based on the song Hard Times by the Jetsons, I believe.
Nice.
But a lot of the other songs are like Stranger in Moscow was quoted in one of the songs, for instance, before Stranger in Moscow came out. So like,
oh wow,
there's a lot of music in that game that's clearly just straight up Michael Jackson shit that he decided when he broke ties with the team and he didn't finish making the game with them, he used it himself.
And just because it's funny, underneath that, it's like next up recommended secrets hidden deep within games. First one, Doom 2, John Romero's head.
Iconic.
That's hilarious. Yeah, absolutely.
Win the game, you must kill me, John Romero. I don't know why I'm doing the Fezzik voice to be John Romero.
Oh.
Does anybody want a peanut?
Oh, hold on. I'm actually going to read this one really quick before we move on to the end of the episode.
Yeah, I mean, this seems like it actually kind of tracks with what we're doing. Let's go.
Portal 2, Ratman's Final Transmission. Valve's award-winning puzzle platformer boasts one Easter egg that requires players to install special software to get the full effect. Turning on a radio in Ratman's third den, which can be located during Chapter 2 and Test Chamber 6, produces an ear-grating sound remarkably similar to a 56K modem. In reality, this is an SSTV signal. Players who discover this hidden signal are automatically rewarded with the quote-unquote final transmission achievement. But those who run it through an SSTV signal decoder are treated to an awesome Easter egg, an SSTV image. Gamers who have already completed Portal 2 once should immediately recognize the location in the picture as Wheatley's new home away from home, the moon.
Nice.
That's pretty funny.
Space!
Yeah, then I think that's about it, what we got for this week.
Yeah.
We'll be back in 2 weeks.
I think we did a good one. I enjoyed this recording.
Yeah, that was fun, man. That was fun. I guess we'll get into house cleaning.
I gotta say the word fuck a bunch.
Yeah. If you would like to join the Discord, you can pop over to bit.ly/tmp. Wow. Let me try that again. bit.ly/TSMP Discord, all capital letters. Come in, join, vote on the fan game poll. Just come, bullshit, share memes, talk with us, have a good time. We want to see some more people join up in there. If you want to join our Patreon and be super cool, it's patreon.com/The Steam Machine Podcast. $1 will get you the episodes early. And if you do $10 or more, you get your name read out on each and every episode, just like these wonderful people named Nate Sir Cogsworth, the 7th of Juniper, Jeff, the original expendable Mr. Syllables himself, old Jeffy Lube, and Eraser Adam. Shout out to his podcast, Revival and Extinction.
I love that Mr. Syllables is stuck.
Yeah.
That really cracks me up.
If you want to get a cool shirt with our logo on it, tsmpproductions.threadless.com. Shout out to my other podcast, YABSPOD, yet another BS podcast that I do with my buddy Jeremy.
Yeah, speaking of YABSPOD, Jeremy.
What's up, King Jeremy?
Yeah, Jeremy's been chilling in the Discord for Steam Machine lately, so that's been pretty cool.
Yeah. I was like, come on in,
Sharing
man.
some high quality memes.
Dude, he's got some good memes.
Dankest,
he really does.
of memes, yo.
Dank memes.
And if all of those links are too much for you and you just want to go to one place and click some buttons, then you go to bit.ly/The Steam Machine Podcast, capitalized phonetically, and that will take you to our website. It's got all of the links to the Patreon, the Discord. You can go to Bandcamp and get some of my music if you want. And I believe there are links to some Turtle Bear Man stuff, so I'm going to turn it over to Nate.
Because I'm kind of slacking on my social stuff lately, but I'm still going to be around every once in a while. Probably a bit less than I have been lately because I got a lot of stuff going on right now. But follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok at Turtle Bear Man.
Word. One other thing real quick. Please leave us a 5-star review wherever you get your reviews or wherever, get your podcasts at. That would help us a lot, especially on iTunes. Willie, is there anything you'd like to say, my good sir?
Yeah, man, why not? So our buddy Paul Korn has been doing a lot more streaming lately. He's gone to about twice a week, and I just kind of wanted to shout him out. So if you go to twitch.tv/waywardcrosscomics, he's been streaming Beat Mania on Tuesdays and streaming with his wife, I think, on Saturday nights, playing an Oddworld game. And he also does some Rogue Legacy 2 streams every now and then. I started playing Rogue Legacy because I downloaded that. It's new. He made it look like a lot of fun. And Epic currently has the game free, so I downloaded it, the first Rogue Legacy. It's a freaking fun game. So
yeah, it's fun, but it's a lot harder than I thought it would be.
I told you it wasn't easy, you dumb bitch. But I don't know, go chill with Paul. He's cool. Wayward Cross Comics on Twitch.
Yeah, for sure, man. Paul's a good dude. And let's see. If I had a recommendation, go watch some PlayStation Access after you watch Paul's stream. PlayStation Access is fun as fuck on YouTube. We'll be back in 2 weeks with some Kerbal Space Program, and then after that, we will be rolling into Amnesia: The Dark Descent.
Oh God, I forgot that was coming up. Oh, I'm gonna get so spooked.
Yeah, and then it'll be back to our choices, and then we'll be eventually getting to Final Fantasy VII, which I'm looking forward to. So.
I'm looking forward to talking shit about it. Hell yeah.
Well, gentlemen, I appreciate you joining me this week, and we appreciate you guys for listening. So as always, from the Destructo Bros and myself, take it easy.